Hey, it's Joe Crump. I've been getting a bunch of different questions over and over again, so I thought I would address a few of them in a sort of general way so that you understand how to proceed with some of these questions that a lot of you are having. So the first question is, how do I flip houses with no money? A lot of people would love to invest in property and do it over and over and over again, but they just don't have the funds. Or maybe they do have funds and they want to do a flip, and they go out there and they put their cash up and they get a loan, and they're able to do 1 or 2 or 3 properties at a time, and then they're out of business. They can't do any more until they get those sold, and then they can go out and get new loans. So what you want to learn how to do is how to do it with no money, with no cash. You know, they say you need money to make money. I say that if you can't make money with no money, you probably aren't going to make money with money. So if you'll learn how to do it with no money, then when you make money on those types of deals and you have excess cash above and beyond what you need to live on, then you can start investing in that money. And there's some great ways to invest your cash as well, which I'm going to talk about in some videos later on. But if you want to buy properties with nothing down, the best way to start is, and this is what I teach my mentor students when they get in, because I know that they're interested in getting to the cash as quickly as possible. So the best way to start is with what I call the for rent method. And essentially it's just an assignable lease option. So we take a 1-page lease option memo. We ask the seller to sign it, and they tell us, yes, you can buy it on a lease option, and you can assign your right to buy to someone else. And if you don't buy it, that's okay too. That's what a lease option says, essentially. It has the price, it has the monthly payment, it has the term of the lease, which we usually do 3 months. So let's say somebody comes in and says, I want to sell my property, $200,000, a 3-year lease option with $1,800 a month. What we're going to do is take that $200,000 price, we're going to raise it up to $220,000. And even though it may only be worth $200,000, we can still raise the price because we're selling it on terms. What we have to make sure we do properly is make the monthly payment at market rent or below. If it's not at market rent or below, it will not sell. We can sell it for more than its value, but we can't sell it for more than its monthly payment, because that's what's going to be most sensitive for lease option buyers. So you'd list it at $1,800 a month, and you know, maybe $220,000, $210,000, $220,000, depending on how much you think you can get out of that market, and then you put it on the market to sell it, and you find a buyer, a lease option buyer, who will come up with $10,000 or $20,000 as a down payment. And let's say they can only come up with $5,000 as a down payment, and you're willing to take 10. Let's say they come up with 5, and then but they could make another $5,000 in payments over the next few months. You can put that on as a promissory note later on. So you get $5,000 in cash, another $5,000 as a note that you'll get paid for over the next 2 or 3 years. So that's a great way to make money without having any capital at all. And you can do as many of these as you can convince sellers to do it. Now the beauty is, I have the auto marketer. Now you could go find these buyers, or I'm sorry, you can go find these sellers just by going on to Craigslist or to Zillow and looking for sale by owner, and then calling those people and say, hey, would you consider selling your home rent to buy rather than selling it outright? And you can either call the for rent or you can call the for sale by owners. We originally started this by just calling the for rents, and we ran out of them, so we started calling the for sale by owners, and they worked even better. And now we've got the auto marketer set up so that it'll actually text all those for sale by owners for you, and with the text that says, would you consider selling your home rent to buy? If you would, I'd be interested, please let me know. And then they'll text us back a message, and it'll be either yes or no, or you know, stop bothering me. And we find that when they text back, about 20% of them are yes or maybe, or give me $20,000 and I'll do it, you know, something along those lines. And then we just get on the phone with those people. So if we're paying just a few cents per lead, you know, if we're paying, let's say, 15 cents per lead, and only 1 in 10 of those are yeses, that means we're paying $1.50 per lead, which is just an amazing price. If you've ever done any direct mail, you know that you're usually going to be paying $10 to $20 per lead if you're doing yellow letters or postcards or any other kind of direct mail. And those have always been good ways to find leads. But why spend that kind of money if you can do it for pennies on the dollar? Anyway, hope that helps.